ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A record number of people are traveling back from Memorial Day destinations, an especially congested time right now on the roads, the experts say, and so does ABC's Melissa Don in Los Angeles.
Traffic is picking up, and especially across Southern California, there's no surprise that the roadways along the beaches and the coast, that's where we are seeing the most slowdowns as traffic starts to pick up with the millions of people who chose to drive for this long weekend. And of course, many are beginning their commutes back home.
Gasoline prices are at record highs in more than a dozen states, says Gas Buddy. Wall Street markets were closed for Memorial Day, but stock futures went higher and oil prices dipped after President Trump mentioned progress in talks with Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Where 50,000 people are evacuated in Orange County, California, fire officials say a crew has cut the risk of a major explosion at a damaged toxic chemical tank at an aircraft plant in Garden Grove. This is ABC News. 27 people developed sore throats near a luxury department store in Tokyo's posh Ginza shopping area today after a person allegedly sprayed something into the air, according to Tokyo Fire Department officials. Nobody was seriously hurt. No arrest reported. Elected officials in Ponca City, Oklahoma, vow to get to the bottom of a mystery that has people checking the bottoms of their feet. More on that from ABC's Jim Ryan.
On nearly every outdoor surface in the town north of Oklahoma City, the black powder is unavoidable.
We've gone to pick up our granddaughter from school, and she looks like she's come out of the coal mine playing on the playground.
Travis Kirby used to work at the Continental Carbon Company just south of town and says the soot is coming from there. The company paid $10.5 million in 2009 to settle a lawsuit related to the problem. This time, city officials and state regulators say they found no evidence of a link between Continental Carbon and the black dust in Ponca City.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Aurora Avenue anger and frustration. Residents fed up with gun violence. More on that story, but first, here's Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Thank you, Derek. This report brought to us by the Seattle Mariners. Up in Marysville, we've got a collision. It's actually closer to Smoky Point, South 5, just past State Route 531. This one's blocking the left lane, and from there, we have scattered backups all the way into Everett. So right now, Arlington to Everett is a 40-minute trip, about a 25-minute delay. Out in Sultan, westbound 2, or heading that way, rather, we've got a solid backup between Index and Sultan this afternoon. Down at Thurston and Pierce counties, heavy rain has now joined the afternoon commute. And North 5, we've got 13 miles of scattered backups between Olympia and DuPont. Olympia to Tacoma, it'll take you 55 minutes now. South 5 at Bridgeport Way there in JBLM, we've got a fairly new collision that's blocked 3 left lanes. You're bumper to bumper starting at 84th. Westbound 90 east of the mountains, we're heavy from Cle Elum into Easton, and from there it's scattered backups to Ketchless Lake. So Ellensburg to North Bend is a 2-hour and 20-minute drive. That's a little over a 1-hour delay. The express toll lanes are open all day, free all day, that is, on 405 and 167. Don't miss 8 fireworks nights this season, presented by T-Mobile. The first show is May 29th. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Derek Wing. A message to the city of Seattle from people who live around Aurora Avenue North. Do something about the nonstop gunfire and violence endangering their families. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has the latest.
Sound is what neighbors say happens on a near weekly basis. Most recently, the weekend shootout near the Burgermaster at 98th with 40 shell casings recovered.
Shots were fired. I mean, umpteen, I can't even tell you how many.
Rudy Pantoja recalling that to KIRO 7. City residents have now installed several large steel planters to block off side streets. Mayor Katie Wilson says the city is increasing emphasis patrols and deploying its gun violence reduction unit. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
A powerful tribute in the skies this weekend as a family and friends honored Alex Keene, a hiker who died on Mount Pew, with a memorial skydive Sunday. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
Keene went missing a few weeks ago while on a hike on Mount Pew. A few days after he was reported missing, Snohomish rescue crews found Alex's body several hundred feet down the mountainside. His co-worker, Joshi Pasel Cornejo, was a part of that search.
It was awful. It was really sad, but we were just also really happy to be able to get him back and bring him home.
Besides creating a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs, Alex's family is encouraging the public to donate to Snohomish search and rescue crews for bringing him back home.
Tacoma police are celebrating the impressive first weeks of Canine Charlie, who's already made a name for himself on the streets. In just a month and a half, Charlie has helped officers recover ditched weapons and even found a suspect hiding in an outdoor refrigerator.
Get out. Show me your hands. You're going to get bit. You understand me? Okay. Keep your hands up. Okay. Keep your hands up.
Canine Charlie has captures in 6 weeks, but off duty, Charlie is all puppy, spending his downtime chasing birds and squirrels in the backyard. Your Memorial Day forecast: periods of rain today with a high of 61. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. Currently, 58 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. It is May 25th, 2026. Hope you're having a meaningful Memorial Day. We're here on KIRO Radio Live. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a jam-packed show here. Coming up, we're going to talk about AI and existential dread, and we'll also ask the question, can a guy who once starred on a reality TV show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here really become mayor of one of America's biggest cities? That and much more on a busy day here. Tim, good to see you, my friend.
Great to see you. This is fun.
Yes, it is.
Always good to be with you, Greg.
I just flew back this morning from Nevada where I attended my niece's high school graduation, and I am tanned, rested, and ready. It was 90 degrees down there. And I came back to like classic overcast skies, 58 degrees. I couldn't be happier to be home.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, but first, what are we going to do on the show today?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got, as you said, a great show for you today. Excited right now to have Chris Novoselic join us. He is an entrepreneur. He founded a band in the 80s. Called Nirvana. He also founded a new political party called the Cascade Party recently, and we're so glad to have Chris join us today here live on KIRO News. Chris, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Well, I tell you, I was reading an article in the Seattle Times recently, just a couple weeks ago, talked about how there isn't really great organization in bringing candidates in our state, our city, our county together, and talking from more of the kind of quote unquote kind of moderate or quote unquote centrist here wing of our county, our city, and our state. And Chris, that Democrats have really dominated in our state for a long time, and I would say maybe in the last 10 to 15 years, the further left has dominated in Olympia, in King County, in the city of Seattle. And as I noted here recently, a local entrepreneur, Howard Wright, who owns the Space Needle, his family, he lamented how there really isn't a lot of organization and bringing good candidates to bear in our state, in our city, and there are some rumblings, and of course with the Cascade Party and the things that you're doing, I want to kind of dive into that a little bit. What do we need to do here in our state, in our city, to bring better candidates to bear so that we can bring common sense solutions to what's happening here in the state of Washington?
Well, I used to be a Democrat. I was chair of the Wahkiakum County Democrats for over 3 years. And I left in 2009, and I saw that with the changes that were occurring in the party. And it's just when I was in the Democrats, Christine Gregoire was the governor, and she made these comments recently about Olympia having a spending problem. And that's due to, just like you described, Tim, it's the activist left has captured and taken over the Democratic Party. And people really need to recognize that. And so if you look at the races, we started an election year here. Filing week is behind us, and a lot of the races are D on D, Democrat on Democrat. And that means that there's the activist left incumbent is being challenged by a more moderate Democrat. And then in a couple of races, we have a Cascade Party. We have Jeff Kelly in the 33rd district and Logan Evans in the 47th. And Jeff Kelly is Cascade, and Logan Evans is Cascade Democrat. So that's just working with our ballot here in the state. And they're taking on incumbents who are activist left. They come out of like the nonprofit world, the activist world, and it's trying to bring some more balance into the legislature.
Yeah. There is an effort, I know, in San Francisco over the last 4 or 5 years that was kind of a behind the scenes effort to really create a cadre, a coalition that brings together kind of, as I said, a moderate viewpoint, centrist, common sense, because of course we all have seen what's going on in San Francisco, which we're seeing a lot of those similar things now happen in Seattle and the state of Washington. And there are some rumblings I'm hearing, and maybe you're hearing them too, and maybe a part of them, Chris, where there needs to be a more organized effort to bring these into the, essentially the mainstream of our state, to bring, and I know you're doing that with the Cascade Party. Are there other ways that you think we need to do this in the state of Washington?
Well, in last year in 2025, like the moderate and the business community had a bad election, and the activist left are organized, they're motivated. And so what was the old way of doing things? Like the business community would raise $1 million, hire a consultant, and then send out a bunch of direct mail, either promoting their candidate or trashing the candidates they oppose. And that just doesn't work anymore. And so it was, San Francisco was in really bad shape. And just look at the streets and what was going on, and the policies weren't working. And so it wasn't about moderate or centrism as much as it was about seeing your own eyes telling you that things are broken, and you see all this suffering and neglect on the streets. And so in San Francisco, there was a group started called Neighbors for a Better San Francisco. And they got rid of the old model, the PAC model, that elite model, and they have a political operation. And so that's what's going on in Seattle with the business community. They're just going to be more active as a political effort, and just take some of those lessons that the activist left are doing. It's just like, go get those ballots, register those voters, and then just have a more of a traditional, or a grassroots campaign.
Yeah. How does that interact with your efforts with the Cascade Party? Are those complementary to each other? Are they?
Yeah, they're complementary because we are a political association. And so there's the two dominant parties in the state. In the Cascade Party, we are a recognized party. We have access to the same campaign finance rules as Republicans and Democrats. And we are a true blue party. Like the way we're organized, we have our own private independent social media, and that's how we associate. That's how you become a member. You join our social media and you become part of the party, and that gives you access to the privileges of membership and how to participate. And so we're excited about our candidates. Jeff Kelly's in the 33rd, Logan Evans in the 47th. And there's also those D on D races too, because of the ballot design in Washington state. Our elections are effectively nonpartisan. Those are just, that's a descriptive name next to a ballot, next to a name, like a party name. It could be a description, right? And there's a disclaimer on the ballot. So nothing really precludes us from working with some of these more centrist Democrats.
Chris, thanks so much again for joining the show. Greg here. I think of this line from W.B. Yeats' 1919 poem, The Second Coming, "Things fall apart and the center cannot hold." That's a quote that sort of summarizes. Have you heard that quote before?
Yeah.
I can't help but think that summarizes the time that we inhabit right now in this modern age in 2026 America. But what gives you hope, though, at this time that something like the Cascade Party, which kind of more aligns itself with the center and farther apart from the extremes, can really kind of gain traction in a hyper-polarized moment where it's algorithm-driven, social media-driven, and, the center, which I've found myself more towards the past 5 to 10 years, seems to be more full of nuance, a healthy level of tension between the two sides. Is less black and white, is less all in, all out. But what makes you think that that is a winning message at this point in time? And have you seen it start to gain more and more traction and in sort of an incrementalist type of way?
Well, people they're not happy with the way things are going, and they're frustrated. And there's a lot of narratives out there. There are these dominant narratives. And so it's up to each individual to break free from that. And you get put, social media, you get these messages pushed on you. And so if you could just kind of break out of that and look at your own life, your family and your community, your friends, and don't get pulled into these narratives and start obsessing on politics, right? And so this is an invitation, like Cascade Parties, to just an invitation to live your best life, right? And yeah, there's problems out there. Gasoline costs too much, and that affects every other kind of that affects the economy, like transportation, agriculture, heating, all those things. And so how do we lower prices? And so we need to have that discussion. And what are we paying for in government? Like, what are the measurable results, right? So they increased taxes by $8-9 billion in Olympia, but they're still suffering on the streets. How do we make our community safer? And are we getting what we're paying for? It's like a transaction. Like, are we getting a good deal with the government? And so when you have a third party, you're packaging the issues for people. There's the Democrats with the donkey. There's the Republicans with the elephant. Well, the Cascade Party has the owl, right? And so there's so many policy choices out there. And so when voters, they look at the ballot, they're looking for a cue. And so hey, I'm going to give this owl a try because I like what they're saying. And this is something different. And another thing that third parties do and new parties is we bring new issues into the public debate. And so we're challenging these candidates, these incumbents, and we're saying, hey, what's going on in Olympia? Like, where are the measurable results? They're falling short, right? What's going on with our money, right?
Chris, I really appreciate how you have taken this passion, and I love the fact that you said this is just about us having a inspired life where we're living our best life. And I resonate with that. I think there's so many people who are so disillusioned with the all in, all out, and it's more of like, what does it look like to see our communities flourish and thrive and, move away from some of that just hate-filled politics that we're seeing. And I know when you go out publicly, you talk about this. In fact, I'd love to, I know we just got a couple minutes left here, but you've got a conversation coming up with your buddy Kim Thayil from Soundgarden. Right. That's a conversation coming up. He's got a memoir coming out. You were part of their celebration at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a few months ago, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're doing this discussion at Elliott Page Books. It's sold out. Live tonight, sold out. And we're just gonna discuss music and our experience in the music world. It's not gonna be political, which is fine. It doesn't have to be all political. What I was saying before, let's just lower the tension down a notch. And that is really the overarching thing with the Cascade Party. It's just hey, we're not peddling anxiety here. We're looking into the issues. We're offering solutions, and hey, we've got this. And so enjoy your life, live your best life with your family, your friends, and your community. And anxiety is such a political commodity, and it's just I don't have any time for it. I'm free. My mind. I'm a free man. I've emancipated myself. I don't buy these narratives, right?
Yeah.
And then I go and I just hang out with my wife and my family and do my thing. And with social media, where people are so obsessed, they're wow, and it gets visceral and just are you really that kind of person? Let it go.
How does your music now play a part of that, what you're describing?
The music that I'm doing,
Yeah.
I've been playing accordion and finger-style acoustic guitar around the house every day.
Yes,
So
love it.
Kim and I were in a band. And so was Matt from Soundgarden, Third Secret, 3RD Secret, and we made 2 records. And they're out there. It's streaming if you want to hear it, and it's like you can hear a lot of different influences. Like Matt and Kim and I, we're at a place where we can do whatever we want musically, and we did.
Chris, I'd be remiss if I wasn't able to get in a music question as well. I know you've kind of turned to be, very civic-minded lately, especially with your involvement with the Cascade Party. And I know there is some crossover here too, which we're kind of alluding to. But the question I'm chomping at the bit to ask you is the current state of music. I think back to the pinnacle of Nirvana. I was just a 12-year-old kid, but Nevermind made a huge impression on me. And, Kurt Cobain being the primary songwriter and lyricist, but at the same time, the group, as I understand it, would frequently build arrangements together and work together as a band also in the writing process. What do you make of the current state of popular music, where you have songwriting by committee, mass-produced, content-driven, and this conversation between music as content or music as art?
It just depends on so good art, it invites the viewer to participate. It's an invitation. Good art invites you into its own world, right? So it's up to you to accept the invitation. So if you want to listen to AI slop or some shallow popular music, pardon me for saying it's shallow. And there's still a lot of music to discover, especially if you're 16 years old, right? Wow. When I was 16 years old, I was discovering the Beatles and Black Sabbath. That music was already 10 years old, 15 years old. But then, right? So you can, the younger you are, someone like 61, now I'm getting into Sun Ra, which is avant jazz with some funky undertones, SUNRA. Sun Ra. And so I listen to a turntable, so I can go to Easy Street Records or my favorite record store. There's other Georgetown Records. There's other record stores in Seattle, and then take a chance and buy something and experiment with music. You could listen. They'll let you listen at the record store. Then you put it on your turntable and you listen. You listen to the music. I have a turntable in my living room. I sit down on the couch, I put it on, I got the speaker set up, and I listen.
Well, and you know what? It just struck me as you were talking there is there is more crossover between music and the Cascade Party and this idea of centrism, or the center can or cannot hold. And that is, music is something that brings people together when done best, and that it's not tailor-made necessarily to the left or to the right. I grew up in a conservative Christian home. I loved Nirvana growing up. And I'm sure there were progressives on the other side of the spectrum that were also huge Nirvana fans. And so I wonder if that has somehow played into your political ideology, coming from that music background where people of all sides can sort of appreciate the same thing.
It's just an invitation. I know somebody who told me that they don't listen to Ted Nugent because they don't like his politics. And I'm just like, well, you lose. I love Ted Nugent music. It's just great. It rocks. The guitar playing is really good. And again, it's just with you get into these narratives and they're consuming you. Are you consuming art? Are you consuming politics? Or is it consuming you? Right? And so many people are obsessed that they should just really even get out of politics. And they get it. Then they buy these narratives. And they're getting bad information too. It's is that really true? Or it's rumor and gossip, which is an age-old human attribute. Right? Yeah. They're just spreading rumor and gossip. That's not a fact. You don't know what you're talking about, right?
Chris, really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really inspired by what you're doing in our state. And I know there's a lot of people who are listening who say, you know what, I want to be a part of something that moves this thing forward in a positive way in our state. And with the Cascade Party, where can people go and learn more about what you're doing?
CascadeParty.org.
CascadeParty.org. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Greg Tallman and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. Lots more coming up on KIRO Radio, but first let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk and Nate Connors.
All right, Greg, we've got trouble on the water this afternoon. Clinton Ferry Terminal, a 2-hour wait for drivers. Kingston reporting a 3-hour wait for drivers. South 5 through JBLM at Bridgeport, we've got a collision blocking 3 left lanes. We're about 45 minutes into this. Your bumper-to-bumper backup starts near South 74th. Tacoma to Olympia, just under an hour at 55 minutes. It's also 55 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. We're solid between Lacey and DuPont, and then your bumper-to-bumper at Thorn Lane up to our crash scene at Bridgeport. Up in Marysville, we cleared that collision South 5 at State Route 531. That's actually up in Smoky Point. And the backup starts near 531 into Everett. Those are scattered backups. And Smoky Point to Everett right now is a half-hour commute. That's double the norm. If you're coming back from Eastern Washington, westbound 2, we've got a solid 10-mile backup between Index and Sultan. And westbound 90, it is real heavy between Cle Elum and Easton. From there, you'll slowly thin out by the time you hit Ketchless Lake. You're in the clear. Ellensburg to North Bend, though, is 2 hours and 35 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes delay. And really, the rest of our map looking pretty good. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Rising blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. I know it's late, but my water heater's leaking.
Don't worry, we can get a plumber out there fast.
Thanks.
You're welcome, and if it can be repaired, we'll take care of it. But if it's time to replace, you could save $200 on a new water heater right now. Plus, you may qualify for up to $1,000 in rebates, and we handle it start to finish.
Sweet.
Need a plumber fast? The CM Heating Plumbing Team is there when you need it most. Schedule now at cmheating.com.
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMHEA HL750LP.
My name is Skip, and Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland helped me with my Small Business Administration loan. With her help, I was able to keep my small business open, and she can help you too. Please contact Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland's office at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov for help. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Elena had another asthma attack. She's really sad to miss school again.
Asthma can be triggered by allergens from common pests.
I just can't shake this fever.
Mosquito bites can cause West Nile and Zika virus infections.
Sorry, boss. I'm going to be out of work for a while.
The CDC estimates that more than 300,000 Lyme disease cases spread by ticks occur in the U.S. each year. Don't let pests force you to take a sick day. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Washington is helping men take control of their health with a free, comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value included when starting treatment. Your panel checks key health markers, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidneys, liver, and thyroid, so you can finally understand what your body's been trying to tell you. Since 2011, over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Get answers, get a plan, and start feeling better. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free, comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Derek Wing. Investigators say a 16-year-old was gunned down last night as his girlfriend looked on. This happened in Parkland, and detectives need your help solving the crime. KIRO News Radio's John Repp with the story.
This took place along Sheridan Avenue South just after 7 p.m. last night.
Multiple calls were received reporting that a male had been shot and was lying in the roadway. Deputies responded to the scene and immediately began life-saving efforts.
Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says the teenager died at the scene. Witnesses say the 16-year-old was walking with his girlfriend when a car pulled up, robbed him, and then shot him before speeding away. She's asking anyone with tips to contact them. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
A suspect is in custody connected to a deadly stabbing in Tacoma. Police there say officers found a man with a stab wound last night around 8:30 and later traced the incident to the 1200 block of South M Street. They say a woman was taken into custody and booked into the Pierce County Jail. In sports, the Seattle Sounders fell 1-0 to Los Angeles FC Sunday night at BMO Stadium. Seattle held strong defensively for most of the match, but LAFC finally broke through in the 85th minute.
Boyd hits the deck. Oh, it's there! Timothy Tillman!
That sound courtesy of Major League Soccer. The Sounders go on a 7-week break with the rest of MLS as FIFA World Cup 2026 makes its way into North America. Seattle will host 6 matches. The Sounders will recommence regular season competition on July 16th when the team faces the Portland Timbers at Lumen Field. In baseball tonight, the Mariners face the A's in Sacramento. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. And now from the real-time traffic desk, here's Nate Connors.
All right, thanks, Derek. Let's start you with our big collision, and really our only collision right now, and that's in Lakewood, South 5 of Bridgeport Way. It's a jackknife semi that's blocking now 2 left lanes. We've opened up a lane for you, and you've got a bumper backup starting near South 74th, Tacoma to Olympia at 55 minutes. Now, I would suggest exiting there at 74th, head west over to South Tacoma Way, and take that all the way south. You'll bypass this entire I-5 backup, and that route right now is fairly wide open. Coming the other way, Olympia to Tacoma also at 55 minutes. We're solid between Lacey and DuPont, and then bumper to bumper starting from Thorn Lane up to our crash scene at Bridgeport. Here in Seattle, things are looking pretty good. North 5 got a brief backup there at the I-90 interchange. Again, approaching the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 15 minutes to get through this. South 5 is wide open. Up north, Smoky Point to Everett is a half-hour commute. You've got scattered backups starting before State Route 531 down at the Snohomish River. And the express toll lanes on 405 and 167, they are free all day. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now to the weather, where we can expect periods of rain for the rest of today, a high of 61. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. It's currently 55 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It's Greg Tallman and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. We are live this Memorial Day, May 25th, 2026, and this hour is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance.
Greg, it seems like every other day Seattle is making national headlines, not always for great reasons.
For all the wrong reasons, you're going to say?
It discourages me. It's a bummer. Someone who lives in Seattle, I've lived here, my whole adult life, and it's one of those things. It's like, man, I just saw Elon Musk actually retweeted a tweet like an hour ago from an LA mayoral candidate talking about how their 40,000 homeless are going to, for the Olympics, are going to come up to Seattle because, there's a lot of resources for them up here. It's like, oh man, seems like we're always making news for some of the wrong reasons. And you and I, we were talking before the program today about how a lot of times there's a lot of extremes even in this conversation, right? Where in a lot of ways we talk to people who aren't from Seattle and they're like, oh my goodness, Seattle is like, can you even walk around?
I'll tell you, I don't mean to interject here, but I'm going to anyway. When I was in Nevada over the weekend, and yeah, there were some people from the Seattle area there for my niece's high school graduation. But yeah, people in that state are talking about the problems in Seattle, the business climate, the homeless issue, as well as LA. It seems to be at the front of a lot of people's conscience right now. And it's just fascinating to get sort of an outsider's perspective on things that are going on in our backyard.
And I always feel like there's always these conversations around, like when it's about this, it's always an extreme. It's either like, oh, there's nothing to see here. Everything's great and fine. Like, Ferguson the other day was like, we're a world-class city, nothing else to see here. Or it's like, this is the worst place ever. And you can't even walk down the street. And usually the truth is somewhere, in between that. And, it's interesting. I bring that up because, I was inspired by Chris Novoselic, who was just with us in the first hour, founder of Nirvana, bassist of Nirvana, and some of his just inspiring actions that he's taken with the Cascade Party. So I had this epic day in Seattle on Saturday. I mean, it was. I'm still like just kind of like, oh my goodness! It felt like 10 years ago, like peak Seattle. And for those of you who have never tuned in, when I'm filling in here, I've got a wife and 4 daughters, 16, 15, 12, and 10. We lived downtown Seattle for 15 years, and then we kind of, as we had another child, we moved up to Queen Anne, and now we're up in the Lake City area. And we did a Seattle day on Saturday, and it was unbelievable. And I've got to shout it from the rooftops, Greg. I mean, it was okay. It was just obviously a beautiful day. We decided to go down to the waterfront and see. Now that the waterfront is completely done, walk around, and so we parked up near Pike Place. And, we're 7 blocks away from waterfront, walk down there.
Tim, already you're rolling the dice a little bit. Walking 7 blocks?
Yes, that's why I brought that up, because we walked into the waterfront, and we only got 3 waifs of weed, which was great, because last time it was like 12. Okay. We only got 3 waifs, and my 10-year-old was like, I'm high as a kite. Just kidding. So we walked around the waterfront, which was super cool, super beautiful. And we're walking around, we're listening to music, and it was just, people were having a great time, enjoying one another. And then we were going up to Climate Pledge Arena for Stars on Ice.
Oh.
So this is like all the Olympic, the Olympic team who won all the figure skating from the Winter Olympics earlier. They were doing their big exhibition at Climate Pledge later that night. And so we're walking back up to our car, and we're like, hey, guys, what do we want to eat? Let's get something to eat before, we got to go up to the ice skating program. And my kids were like, we want a burger. We want the best burger. We were literally walking by El Gaucho, there in Belltown. And I'm like, guys, my kids have never been to El Gaucho before, but I was like, guys, they have the best burger in town in El Gaucho. I call them and I said, hey, can you do a burger for kid? Because usually they only serve it in the bar. Of course, I've got kids under 21. And they're like, yes, absolutely. We'll hook you guys up. They gave us a table at one of their really nice tables next to the piano guy who's playing songs from La La Land. And the whole restaurant was singing. He played Hey Jude from Paul McCartney.
Stars. Yeah, go ahead.
And then we head up to Climate Pledge and have a great time. Alyssa Liu, the Quad God, they were all there. And then we head up to Salt and Straw for a little midnight ice cream on top of Queen Anne. Okay. I'm telling you, it was like this. It was like one of the most idyllic Saturday Seattle storybook evenings. It was like, you know what? This is why we live at this place. This place is amazing.
I'm glad you're sharing this story.
You're about to poop on this story.
I'm not going to poop on it.
You're being like Triumph the inside Calm a Dog right now.
I will say, when it comes to fiercely critiquing Seattle, I would put you at the top of the list in terms of, we can call each other friends, right? We're not just coworkers.
Greg, do you even have to ask that?
I don't know. Well, have we ever texted outside of a work-related text? Maybe once or twice. So that qualifies as a true and real friendship, deep and sincere, right?
It does.
Okay. But so are you ever conflicted then when you have experiences like that, but you also read, you can also see the bad stuff happening at the same time, and you also frequent circles that I can imagine are also fiercely critical of what's happening in Seattle right now, whether it's the business climate, the homeless population, and so on and so forth. So I'm curious as to why you choose to reveal that story on air. Is it kind of just in an effort to say both things can be true at the same time?
Exactly, because usually it's, and if anyone's listened to, times I've been on air here, that I've been, I'm very critical of how we approach our public safety, of how we approach our homelessness crisis, all of those things, and all of those are, my goodness, we've got a long way to go. But I also feel like in the same vein, we have to.
It can be great.
I want to be truthful, and I want to be transparent. I don't want to just like, oh, we had a great experience, but I'm not going to talk about it because you know what? My narrative is Seattle's terrible, so I gotta keep the narrative going. No, I want to be fair, judicious, and honest across the board. And I think that doesn't mean that. If we would have walked 5 blocks over, it would have been a totally different story.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what? This city's worth fighting for.
Yes.
And that's kind of why I bring that up, because this city is worth fighting for, and there's so many great aspects of it. And my goodness, if we can, we still can talk about the incredibly negative things that are happening that are hurting our city and still mention the beautiful, flourishing, great things about it.
And your story highlights the continuing potential it has to be that kind of place perpetually, and the need to save it from descending more and more into darkness, if I might be poetic. But I had a similar experience to you recently. My wife and I went and saw one of our favorite bands at the historic Showbox Market right there downtown just a few nights ago. Band's called St. Lucia. And, we live on the east side, so we only make it into the heart of downtown every so often. It's usually for an event like that, a sporting event or a concert and things like that. And we pulled up, found parking very easily. And there was a Salt and Straw right there across from Pike Place Market. It was packed at like 11 p.m. And I'm thinking, this is not a bad sign. Seattle ice cream shop, packed late at night. Lots of concert goers there that were reveling in the night and stuff. And we got back to the east side thinking like that was a great night out in Seattle. And again, worth preserving the great aspects of it that we want to share with our kids and that they can share with their kids too. And that's one of the reasons we fight for it so vociferously and so vocally, because we're afraid of losing those great things.
We've got to hold it in tension, right? We've got to hold two truths in tension. And what do you guys think? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Let us know, how do we hold those things in tension, the amazing things that we experience in our region, but also the really significant issues that we've got to improve on. Let us know, 888-973-5476, 888-973-5476. Would love to hear from you and get your thoughts. It's Tim Gatos, Greg Tomlin in on the John Curley Show. Throw it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. What's up, Nate?
Thank you, Tim. Well, we're just dealing with Memorial Day return traffic today. Otherwise, the rest of our map looking pretty good. So this is what we're dealing with. This long-term collision. It's actually a jackknife semi, South 5 of Bridgeport Way there in Lakewood. It's got 2 left lanes blocked, and you're bumper-to-bumper starting at 74th. Tacoma to Olympia, we're pushing 1 hour. Olympia to Tacoma, the other way, also at an hour with solid backup between Lacey and DuPont. And then you're bumper-to-bumper at Thorn Lane up to this crash scene at Bridgeport. Up in Everett, South 5, you're packed at State Route 531 there in Smoky Point, all the way down to the Snohomish River. Another brief backup further south at the Boeing Freeway interchange. Smoky Point to Everett, 35 minutes, a 20-minute delay. If you're coming back into town from the eastern part of the state, westbound 2 has a solid 16-mile backup between Index and Sultan. Westbound 90, we are heavy between Clay Elum and Easton. Once you get through Easton, though, it's just minor backups up to Ketchless Lake, and then you're in the clear. Ellensburg to North Bend, though, is 2 hours and 35 minutes. That's an hour and 20-minute delay. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eggs are an incredible source of protein and omega-3s. But have you thought about what the hens eat to make healthier eggs? At Wilcox Farms, our hens enjoy organic pastures and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed, creating vibrant yolks, richer flavor, and real nutrition for your family. Next time you're at the store, choose Wilcox Eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. I need an AC tune-up, and one room isn't comfortable.
We could do both. We'll get your system running right and take a look at the room. Ductless could be a great solution.
Perfect.
Yeah, and if your system's older, right now when you install a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system, the furnace is free.
Wow.
So you get a complete heating and cooling system for the price of one, and we help maximize rebates to save you the most.
Visit cmheating.com today for your tune-up or free estimate.
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMMTA HL751LW.
Spring is here, and it's time to call Integrity Roofing and Construction, your trusted local roofing team. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected all season long. Spike O'Neill here. Visit IntegrityRC.com to schedule a free roof assessment and video inspection today. Serving our community with over 10 years experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with everything from simple roof repair to full renovation. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com or call 206-202-ROOF.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Liebarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, we stand by our quality gutters. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation. And visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Greg Tallman and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show this Memorial Day. Hope you're having a meaningful Memorial Day. Tim, there is a film that is doing gangbusters at the international box office. In its first month of release, it has made almost $800 million, and my kids have been begging me to see it before it leaves theaters. Of course, I am talking about the Michael movie, the Michael Jackson biopic.
Wow.
You, as a responsible father, would you go take your kids to see what I understand is a major puff piece about one of the greatest artists of our time who has left, I would say, a complicated legacy that the film doesn't exactly dive fully into? I've been debating this, me and my wife. Do we take the kiddos to see the Michael movie?
This is so fascinating, because you said you were going to bring up a topic and you didn't tell me what it was.
I just sprung it on you. I called it audible.
And it's so interesting because literally yesterday, my daughter asked... she wanted to go. She told me this, and she's like, "Hey, we're coming home." Yesterday, she goes, "Hey, let's play some Michael," and so we were jamming out to some Michael. And in my head, and I'm thinking, and I'm just like, "Okay, how do I feel about this?"
Do I go full Neverland Ranch right now?
And do I explain to my my 15-year-old some history? Do we dive into that, or just what? This is good music, man. Like, here we go. Man in the Mirror, Billie Jean. Come on. That's a great question. And
I'm undecided. I pose that to you, producer Mike, as well, because I feel like the more we become detached from the actual life that Michael Jackson lived, the music is just going to be the thing that lives on. Yeah. And in my kids' hearts, they're obsessed with MJ right now. They love the Jackson 5. They love Thriller. They love all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, why overcomplicate it, I guess? It doesn't, it just, the
Except
music.
when they find out, they're going to be like, man, Dad was just such a hypocrite and he swept stuff under the rug. And what is...
Okay, so...
Well, real quick, I'll share with you, I've seen the movie.
I should have started with you.
And the movie is for folks who thought Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen biopic, was too spicy. Like, this it's bland and flat and flavorless. But I would say to your question, though, take the kids because it's all about the music. It is a production of the music. It is a sanded off corners version of what we think Michael Jackson was, not who he actually was. Maybe they'll save that for the sequel.
We need to pose this to our friends listening. What do they think? You know, like, what do you all think?
And have you seen it?
888-973-5476. 888-973-5476. I can't believe it's actually grossed $800 million.
Yeah. It's going to cross $1 billion probably before it leaves theaters. So the world still has an appetite for MJ and his hits. And yeah, the movie's playing with a loaded deck. When you're starting out with music like that, kind of hard to screw it up. Greg Tomlin, Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. Lots more coming up on a busy news day. Let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk. And Nate Connors.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Greg. At JBLM, we just cleared that collision, South 5 of Bridgeport Way. So this opens up 2 left lanes for you, which is good news for those of you stuck in that bumper-to-bumper backup starting almost at 56 now. Tacoma to Olympia has gone up a bit to an hour and 5 minutes, but it will only improve from here. Olympia to Tacoma coming the other way is a 1-hour drive. You're solid between Lacey and DuPont. And then bumper-to-bumper Jackson Avenue now up to that crash scene at Bridgeport. But again, this looky-loo backup will start to thin out as well. Up in Everett, South 5, you're packed from about 140th now, approaching the Outlet Mall down to the Snohomish River, and now scattered backups forming between the Boeing Freeway through Mill Creek. So Smoky Point to Everett still right around 35 minutes. The express toll lanes on 405 and 167 are free all day, so be sure to take advantage of that. And on the water, the Clinton Ferry Terminal has a 2-hour wait for drivers. Kingston reporting a 3-hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead. Explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall tire dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. No more worrying about a levee. Where 50,000 people are evacuated in Orange County, California, fire officials say a crew has cut the risk of a major explosion at a damaged toxic chemical tank at an aircraft plant in Garden Grove. Interim Fire Chief T.J. McGovern.
We have eliminated the threat of a levee. That has been confirmed. The threat of a levee is no longer.
That's BLEVE. That stands for Boiling Liquid Expanding Vapor Explosion. The Wall Street stock markets closed for Memorial Day. Stock futures went higher and oil prices dropped below $100 a barrel after President Trump mentioned progress in talks with Iran. The deal being discussed between the U.S. and Iran fails to achieve any of Israel's goals for the war, says Israel's opposition leader. Amid this wet weekend in the east, forecasters warning about flash flooding in the southeast. This is ABC News. Uber and Lyft drivers in Massachusetts have successfully organized. They are now the first rideshare worker union in the country. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey.
We want people in Massachusetts to have the kind of wages that can support their families.
A spiritual and moral leader is speaking out about artificial intelligence. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
Pope Leo writing, quote, "We are truly experiencing an eclipse of the sense of what it means to be human," and warning of, quote, "the unbridled promotion and implementation of technology at the expense of human dignity and the damage caused when chatbots and other technologies exploit our need for human relationships." Leo also offering solutions, calling for government regulation and better protection for workers impacted by AI.
ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge. Pope Leo's today also making a historic apology for the Vatican's role in legitimizing slavery and for having failed to condemn it for centuries, calling it a wound in Christian memory. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high-end.
A local community trying to take safety into its own hands. Details coming up. But first, a look at traffic from the real-time traffic desk with Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Derek. Well, we cleared our long-term collision in Lakewood, South 5 of Bridgeport Way about 15 minutes ago. It was there for about an hour. So this opens up a couple lanes for you. We're still pretty stacked up at South 74th. Tacoma to Olympia is still right around a 1-hour commute. Olympia to Tacoma coming the other way, also at 1 hour. It's solid between Lacey and DuPont. And then that back up near Jackson Avenue starting to thin out pretty quickly now. Up in Everett, South 5, we're packed from 140th approaching the Outlet Mall down to the Snohomish River. Just volume here. New scattered backups now forming between the Boeing Freeway through Mill Creek. So Smoky Point to Everett's at 35 minutes. And those backups in South Everett aren't too bad. You're close to freeway speeds here. Here in Seattle, South 5 looks good. North 5, we've got building volumes between the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. And then again, another solid backup at the Ship Canal Bridge. Just 15 minutes, though, to get through this. And again, on the water, the Clinton Ferry Terminal, a 2-hour wait for drivers. We have a 3-hour wait for drivers in Kingston. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Derek Wing. Several large steel planters now block off side streets along the Aurora Avenue corridor, installed by community members. KIRO News Radio's John Repp looks at the latest gun violence in North Seattle and the response from the city.
You can see photos of these planters turned barricades at mynorthwest.com. They're the latest attempt to try and shield what used to be a quiet side street from gunfire, including a 40-plus round shootout this past weekend. The week before, Jake tells KIRO 7 a bullet hit the window of his home right where his son was sleeping.
I could have lost my 6-week-old beautiful baby boy.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says police are increasing emphasis patrols and deploying its gun violence reduction unit. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma police have made an arrest after a stabbing victim showed up at a local hospital Sunday night. Officers say the adult man arrived by private vehicle, but despite medical efforts, he died shortly after. Police later located the crime scene in the 1200 block of South M Street. They say a woman was taken into custody and booked into the Pierce County Jail. Elsewhere, a man is in custody after deputies say he vandalized a Thurston County court building yesterday morning. The sheriff's office says it happened around 9:40 at the Family and Juvenile Court on 32nd Avenue Southwest in Olympia. Deputies showed up to a burglary alarm and found broken glass and a 40-year-old man still smashing things up inside. They also found an American flag had been pulled off a pole and stuffed in a mailbox. Deputies put the flag back up and took the man into custody without a fight. A major alcohol distributor is warning the state that it may lay off 267 workers in Washington. Republic National Distributing Company filed the notice last week covering operations in Auburn, Everett, Seattle, and Spokane. The company says a third party is expected to take over those sites. Some employees could keep their jobs under the new buyer, and Republic National might hold on to a few as well, but nothing is confirmed. Your forecast this Memorial Day, periods of rain, a high of 61. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. Currently, it's down in downtown Seattle. It's 55 degrees. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the John Curley Show. Tim Gatos, Greg Tomlin in for John today on this Memorial Day. We're so glad that you're tuning in, and we're just so grateful for all of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom and the opportunity to remember them and reflect on that today. We'll get into that more, I think, Greg, later on in the program, and we got a lot to jump into. And one of the things, Greg, you and I have been talking about, one of the most controversial issues of our day. And, I was thinking about this last week. My daughters had their finals for school, and every night they said, Dad, I need your phone. I need your phone. I need your phone. And they needed to get on Chat GPT and study and get ready for their finals and their homework. And it was like, man, this is a new era we are living in when it comes to AI and all that this is going to bring. And there's so many people who are just unsure, unknown of how this is going to affect society, how this is going to affect jobs, how it's going to affect so much of what we do, of work, right? Like work is a good thing. Work was given as a good thing that we create, we till the soil. You and I talked about that earlier. Greg, I know this is, and you're I know you and I were chatting about the Pope's recent letter that he just gave out today.
Yeah, the formal word to describe it as an encyclical, his first encyclical, which is basically a pastoral letter, and in this case, a pastoral letter of concern about AI. So this was issued today, and I have to tell you at the outset, this is going to be the irony of ironies. It's 43,000 words,
okay.
So it takes some time to digest. And so
how much of that was put together by ChatGPT?
What I'm going to say is rather than read the whole thing in an effort to do show prep today, I put the encyclical into AI and said, summarize the Pope's encyclical for me. So the irony of ironies there. But those who've heard me fill in on KIRO before, and whenever I'm privileged to do so in any capacity, I always make a note to talk about AI for at least a segment, because, Tim, I really do think it is one of the defining issues of our time. It's going to change so many countless things in fundamental ways that we haven't even yet fully grasped. And so I think the conversation should be ongoing before we all just rush headlong into this technology and use it willy-nilly and just think it's all going to turn out okay in the wash or whatever at the end. And my family, like yours, our oldest daughter, who's 15, somehow we let ChatGPT creep onto her phone. I think it was probably for like a homework thing. And she generally uses it at Google. And lo and behold, a few weeks pass, we forget that app is on her phone. And we find that she's using it to consult for a number of things. We find
what to do with her green light money that you're giving her?
I mean, you name it, right? you name it. And then I started to get a little concerned, like, wait, we want to create more safeguards around this and more guardrails before our 15-year-olds begins to treat this as a life companion. And I'm not exaggerating or being hyperbolic when I say that, because new data is coming out that shows, especially Gen Alpha, Gen Z, whatever you want to call them, are using AI more and more like counselors and companions. And that should create a giant red flag for all of us, because we're going to be outsourcing pretty sooner than not a human intimacy towards artificial intelligence. Yeah. So the Magnifica Humanitas is the Pope Leo XIV's encyclical that he issued today. And here are the main bullet points. He says that human dignity must stay at the center when utilizing AI. Artificial intelligence is useful, but it's dangerous without ethics. Technology is never neutral, which I found very fascinating. That phrase, technology is never neutral, harkens back to Neil Postman, who was an NYU professor who wrote a book called Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he posited in part that the medium is the message. And so technology is never just like a tool that you use that is neutral. It actually has a premise built into it, baked into it as you're using it. And a couple more points here. The Pope says truth and communication are under threat in this day and age. He spoke about work in the economy, peace and war, and he also urged people to remain human. I mean, it sounds apocalyptic, but he's urging the population to remain human while using AI.
Yeah. Well, so much to digest there. We could talk about this for the next few hours. I mean, it's fascinating because, you bring up ChatGPT, and there's probably been, a dozen instances I've had in the last couple of weeks where, I'm trying to find out information or putting it in, and wrong information is coming back out to me. You asked me, like, what? ChatGPT is just becoming the new Google. And I mentioned to you that, like, I actually went from Google to ChatGPT and now back to Google.
It's come full circle.
Because literally there's been so many, it actually is it's cost me a lot of time because I've had to keep drilling down with ChatGPT until it actually got correct information. And of course that's getting, I'm sure it's going to improve and improve and improve and improve.
And you only discovered that it was giving you false information by cross-checking it?
Cross-checking it.
Okay. That's smart, by the way.
Cross-checking. And then I'd push back a little bit and they'd say, oh, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. And granted, that happened quite a few times. But, it's one of those things. It's like it's out of the bag now, right? I mean, if the toothpaste is out, how do you go about doing this? If, there's so much doom and gloom about it right now. And, I think about last week, Jeff Bezos did this really fascinating interview with CNBC. And, whatever you think about Bezos, the guy's a smart guy. I mean, the guy has done things that not many people can do.
Well, and in the 90s, he predicted the future. He really saw what was coming. And
Absolutely.
So when he's talking about what he believes AI will bring us, we should at least listen up.
Yeah. He had some really fascinating comments about it that I thought were, again, I'm just a caveman, like. So let's play some of that audio from Bezos on AI.
So there are so many smart people, and they are smart, and they are saying, "Oh my God, there are going to be no more radiologists because, AI can read X-rays better than a radiologist can, and there are going to be no more software engineers because AI can program better than a software engineer can." These people are wrong. So what's really going to happen is that it's going to elevate all of these people, and it's like you've been digging. Let's say you're a software engineer, right? The analogy I can give you is you've been digging out a basement for your house with a shovel, and somebody's about to hand you a bulldozer. You should be so happy. If you're digging the basement to your house and somebody says, "Hey, how about this? I have a tool here that's going to..." And what's really going to happen is we're going to have so much productivity in our economy that, for example, this is just one effect. A lot of people who have two-earner income households, one of the people is going to drop out of the workforce. That's why we're going to have a labor shortage. People, because of the productivity gains, you're going to be able to afford things. We're going to have, I predict we'll actually have deflation of certain core, assuming we let this technology play out and don't hamstring it with regulation too early. We will actually have, everything will get, food will get cheaper.
And I'm sort of like you, Tim. When I want to push back, I'm like, what does little Greg know compared to Jeff Bezos in terms of technology and mass consumption of things? And at the same time, my impulse response to what he just said there is I feel like what was curious to me is he didn't mention any timelines. I think in the immediate future, his prediction, what he thinks is going to come about is going to be true. And that is a radiologist or a surgeon or someone in the media will wield the tool of AI to their benefit and make themselves massively productive for a time. But I do think as more time passes, those things will come to replace the human element. And I even feel that a little bit with how I conduct myself at work and in media and as a talk radio host. Right now, I use AI on a daily basis for a number of tasks, but I foresee the day when, I'm redundant here. I'm irrelevant to AI just doing this without me. And whether that day is 10 years from now or 50 years from now, I'm not so certain. So I guess the question is, if you're a savvy workman in this day and age, should we encourage everybody to go out and learn how to use this, learn how to be the best prompter you can, and brainstorm about how you can use these tools in your current business, in your current job, in your current vocation as best as you can to increase productivity instead of the inverse, which is being a Luddite and saying avoid it at all costs. Because like you stated, the Pandora's box is open. It's already here. I don't know why the Shawshank Redemption quote just came to me, get busy living or get busy dying. But it's like, get busy using AI or get busy being left in the dust.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what folks think. I mean, is this going to be is it net positive, net negative?
It's going to be both.
888-973-5476. Let us know what your thoughts are on this. And, it's when I hear Bezos, talk about, hey, dual income households, you're about to have one income earner drop out of the workforce because of what this is going to mean. I mean, and deflation is going to be upon us. That's got to, whatever the net positive is for those aspects, that's got to be pretty exciting for society. I mean, you think of what it could mean for our health, what it could mean for longevity. I wonder and what's your prediction, Greg, from in 50 years from now, 60 years from now, do you think the average age of life will bump up quite a bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think within 50 years, probably a cure for cancer is on the horizon. But what I fear is what will be our standard of living at that point. And in some ways, we'll be more comfortable than we ever have. We'll be able to conjure up things instantly, anything you desire. And I think we'll be less human at the same time. And what I mean by that is, 50 years from now, I think we're going to have outsourced so many things to AI and humanoid robots, and reduce human interaction at such a mass scale that it's going to be a pretty bleak place to be. So I'm trying to form thoughts right now, and you can tell I'm sort of working it out on the air as we speak. And I'm curious as to listener perspective on this at 888-973-5476. With the Pope's encyclical letter on AI and how to use it humanely, he gets into prompting people to ask ethical questions about it. That's really the space that I'm most interested in at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because I've seen how it's increased my productivity, and I can also see the slippery slope to where I outsource parts of myself or part of my life that I didn't intend to initially, to where it made me less relational and less human in the process. What do I mean by that? So I was with a group of people over the weekend, and I was just doing some scenarios about the future of this technology. And I said, we had two grandmothers who at the end of their life ended up having to live in an assisted living facility, kind of round-the-clock care. Is it ethical to have a humanoid robot take care of an elderly person around the clock? Is that ethical? Is it even right to use the terms good and evil when it comes to that? And something was just not sitting right in my stomach when I thought about that potential. And here's the positives. Oh, a robot will make sure your grandma's taking the proper meds every single day. We'll make sure your grandma in the assisted living facility is getting 3 squares a day, is helping her throughout her day with tasks and having to get up out of her chair, get it. And you could say, well, those are all good things, but you can't help but think, well, those were previously done by a human. And human beings need that contact. You need that community with fellow human beings. And I don't think it's that implausible that we're going to start heading down this road where we say, you actually don't need to be around fellow humans anymore. That robot there is going to help you with intimacy. It's going to help you with conversations.
Well,
it's going to be your counselor. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to be your boss.
You could say every time you watch a TV show, you could say the same thing. I could say the same thing about you.
Expand that a little bit.
Well, you are putting technology into a place in your life where you are eliminating interaction with community, with whoever, right? When you put on a show and you don't want to talk to your wife and you're putting on a show.
Are you just talking directly to me here, or is this just your average Joe out there? Continue.
You're making a choice to choose technology over human interaction, right?
I think it exists on a spectrum. So if my family is sitting down to watch a TV show, it still can be a relational experience. We're talking about what we're viewing.
So you don't ever watch TV shows by yourself?
I do, but I think you're right to bring up that scenario. I don't think it's right to watch TV shows in private in copious amounts. I actually think that's soul-sucking and debasing to you.
So you think it's wrong? Like you would actually say it's because you brought up good and evil. You think that's evil?
Right. So, and you're probing this in exactly the right way. I think there is a certain context within which a humanoid robot can serve an ethical, positive purpose. And my question is, where does it cross the line? And I'm not sure where that line is on the spectrum quite yet. If that makes sense.
Well, I don't think anyone in the world does, do they?
But let's keep talking about it at least, instead of just rushing into it and saying, whatever will be, will be.
Yeah.
No. Pause. I think it's important to constantly live in that space of skepticism and questioning and not being completely ever too comfortable or a Kool-Aid drinker when it comes to this stuff. Like, go deeper with it. And that, I don't know. I think that's what we did here a little bit today.
Speaking of the Kool-Aid, I mean, we didn't even get to the kind of the finale of this segment of playing what some of the college graduates think about this in terms of AI, and they were booing these commencement speakers because they're bringing up AI and all the things that age, like if you're a 22-year-old and you've been through COVID and now you're coming into a really tough job market and AI is on the horizon, then yeah, they definitely don't want to be drinking any Kool-Aid, I don't think, on this.
Greg Tallman and Tim Gatos in the John Curley Show. Let's send it on over to Nate Dogg at the real-time traffic desk. Nate Connors.
Yes, sir. All in all, it's a decent commute out there. Of course, what we're expecting is out there the return home from Memorial Day, and we've got some big backups along those routes. Let's start with Tacoma to Olympia and Olympia to Tacoma. Both of these directions have improved. In fact, 45 minutes in each direction from our earlier collisions. We're scattered backups southbound between Lakewood and DuPont. North 5 scattered backups between Lacey and Nisqually. More slowing between Lakewood through South Tacoma. Here in Seattle, South 5 is wide open. North 5, you've got a brief backup there at the I-90 interchange, again at the Ship Canal Bridge. Just 15 minutes, though, to get through downtown. Up in Everett, South 5 remains packed from about the Outlet Mall there in Marysville down to about the Snohomish River. And then more scattered backups from the Boeing Freeway through Mill Creek. So Arlington to Everett right now is right around a half-hour drive. Now, if you're coming back on Highway 2 from the east side, westbound 2, we've got a solid 16-mile backup between Index and Sultan. And westbound 90 is real heavy between Cle Elum and Easton. Once you get through Easton, though, it's just scattered backups to Ketchless Lake. And then once you get to the lake, it's all clear. Ellensburg to North Bend, we're already improving down to 2 hours and 25 minutes. Still a 1 hour delay. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit guardianroofing.com.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, start treatment at Revive Washington and get a free comprehensive wellness panel. A $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Take control of your health today. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Derek Wing. A 16-year-old boy is dead after a roadside shooting overnight in Parkland, and the shooter is still on the run. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has more from Sheriff's Office investigators.
The 16-year-old was found lying in the road on Sheridan Avenue South Sunday evening. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says the victim was walking with his girlfriend when a vehicle pulled up and called him over.
Suspects in the vehicle robbed the victim of some jewelry, shot him, and then fled the scene.
Detectives would like to hear from you if you have any leads or potentially surveillance video that could help them zero in on the suspects. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
A suspended Longview superintendent faced a judge Friday, one day after her arrest, tied to the Mark Morris High School sexual misconduct case. According to the Seattle Times, prosecutors say Karen Cloninger discouraged staff from reporting allegations, told them not to put anything in writing, and withheld key information from investigators. Her bail was set at $5,000, and a no-contact order now prevents her from interacting with students or witnesses. The district has hired an outside investigator, and several employees connected to the case are now on leave. In sports, the Seattle Sounders fell 1-0 to Los Angeles FC Sunday night at BMO Stadium. Seattle held strong defensively for most of the match, but LAFC finally broke through in the 85th minute.
Boyd hits the deck. Oh, it's there! Timothy Tillman!
That sound courtesy of Major League Soccer. The Sounders will be going on a 7-week break with the rest of MLS as FIFA World Cup 2026 makes its way to North America. The city of Seattle will host 6 matches. The Sounders restart the regular season on July 16th when the team faces the Portland Timbers at Lumen Field. Tonight, the Mariners face the A's in Sacramento. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. And now, let's go to our real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Derek. Steady rain up and down that I-5 corridor from Clark County County all the way to Whatcom County, and it's affecting some of our commute. Tacoma to Olympia and Olympia to Tacoma are both at 45 minutes as we are recovery mode, clearing out from earlier accidents. Got a new collision, though, in Tacoma, southbound 705, your ramp to northbound I-5. It's a rollover. It actually left the road. It's up on the right hand, up in the ditch there. So that right lane will most likely get blocked once first responders arrive on scene. Up in Everett, South 5, we're still struggling coming out of Marysville near the Outlet Mall down to the Snohomish River. Smoky Point to Everett is about a half hour. Westbound 2, solid 16 mile between Index and Sultan, and east of the mountains on I-90, westbound 90, real heavy between Cle Elum and Easton, but once you get through Easton, it clears out pretty quickly. In fact, you're in the clear once you hit Ketchulus Lake. Ellensburg to North Bend, plan on a 2-hour and 25-minute drive. That's still a 1-hour delay. Everywhere else, we're doing good. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Your forecast: periods of rain and a low of 47 tonight. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. Currently, it's 55 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Spring showers? Yeah, right. More like spring sprinkles. Downpours, hailstorms, cold snaps, flooding, and even sometimes a little sun. Spring in Western Washington changes day to day, even hour to hour. That's why you need experts. We have decades of experience and the right tools to keep you weather ready. Watch KIRO 7 pinpoint weather forecasts in every newscast and on the KIRO 7 apps for your phone or TV.
Greg Tomlin and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. This hour is brought to you by Bucky's Auto Repair. Well, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. We hope you're having a meaningful Memorial Day here, May 25th, 2026. We are live here on KIRO Radio. And I always say meaningful Memorial Day instead of have a happy Memorial Day, because for so many thousands across this great country, this is a very somber day filled with grief and reflection and remembering heroes that have been lost, who have given the ultimate sacrifice for their country. Every Memorial Day, I remember two individuals in particular, amongst others. One is military officer J.P. Blecksmith, who died, I think it was in Iraq, in Fallujah in 2004 at the age of 24. He was a classmate of my brother at the U.S. Naval Academy. And I also remember Marine First Lieutenant Nicholas Madrazo of Bothell, Washington, died September 9th, 2008, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. I knew Nick personally. And
I did as well.
Did you know Nick Madrazo?
Yeah.
What's the connection there?
I coached his brother, Jared, in basketball.
No kidding.
Yeah. Great family.
Yeah, and both these men, their deaths affected me greatly at the time, Tim. And I find that some of the sorrow and the grief that I feel over their losses almost impacts me even more the older I get. Because Nicholas passed away at the age of 25, J.P. Blecksmith 24. I'm 43 now, and I think of the life that I've gotten to live. I've since been married since these two have passed. I have 3 children, and I really feel like keeping their memory alive. And I almost feel like choices I make throughout my day, or the way I live my life, is almost a way to honor them too, and keeping their memory fresh.
Yeah.
And striving to live an honorable life. Yeah. And so it's one of the reasons I wouldn't say I look forward to Memorial Day, but I think it's important every year to kind of sit and reflect and not just take it as a day off.
Well, it's kind of what you just said. It reminds me of maybe the most powerful moment of a motion picture in my opinion, in the history of motion pictures, is the end of Saving Private Ryan, when Matt Damon's character, and he's at the end of his life, and he goes
back to Omaha Beach,
goes back and he looks at his wife and he says, am I a good man? Did I do it? Did I live it well? Because of the sacrifice that was paid so that I could live. And I think that's an appropriate question, right?
Absolutely. And you know who I also remember is Nathan Hale. There's a school named after him here, actually, in the area. But I'm not so sure how many school children or even high schoolers could tell you who Nathan Hale was in this day and age, 2026. He was, of course, an American Revolutionary War hero. He was a spy for the Continental Army who was hanged by the British in 1776. And he's famously credited with the saying, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Think about that sentiment. I think he was 21 years old at the time. The fidelity and loyalty to one's country and being willing to give that ultimate sacrifice for one's country. Thank God there are still thousands of service members, armed services members today that are still willing to echo that sentiment. But don't you think in today's day and age, that is a sentiment that is shared less and less amidst the millions of people in America? And why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, we could certainly throw out anecdotal evidence for that. I mean, I think, so much, our population has grown so much. A lot of when we haven't understood, context and history and those kind of things, then it loses its meaning, right? Unfortunately. And I think we've been at a place where we kind of diminish some of the history of our country, I think in certain ways. And I think there's a certain sense that there's not an appreciation for what this country has meant. And, there's an artist up in Edmonton, his name's Michael Reagan, well-known, world-famous artist who does portraits of fallen heroes, military heroes, and he always uses the term "never forget" when he posts one up, and I think that's so important. And you mentioned that too, Greg. Like, don't forget, never forget. And I think that's just a theme in life, not only in this context of who have given the ultimate sacrifice, but I think in so many ways of life, right? When we live with entitlement and when we live in ungratefulness, right? It's because we've forgotten what has happened, right? We've forgotten the things that have happened in our life that are good, that we should be thankful for. And this is, I think, certainly at the top of the list, right? Is never forget and being thankful for what has allowed us to have the type of opportunity that you and I are having right now. Number one, right? We have this opportunity to talk here on air. But I think in so many ways, we need to be thankful for all the things that we've had the privilege of experiencing in America.
Well said. Hear, hear. I think of another famous historical figure who once used the phrase, "do this in remembrance of me." And that phrase always stuck out to me because the implication is being human beings are forgetful at their core. And if we don't remember, we lose sight of the plot. Mm-hmm. We lose sight of motivations. Right. We lose sight of perspective and context. And so we constantly need to be remembering and not forgetting, which is not our default setting. Our default setting is to be myopic thinkers, short-sighted, the here and now, what's right in front of me, always push forward. And that's why I appreciate and find these days on the calendar so meaningful because it forces us to go through that exercise of not forgetting and remembering.
The stones of Ebenezer.
Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Preach. Okay. Here I raise my... Back to the Nathan Hale quote for a second. I couldn't help but update it. I think this would be the modern turn of phrase here because we've flipped this equation on its head. Instead of loyalty to country or family or anything greater than self, I think our age has turned inward and caved in on itself so much to where we pledge loyalty to the self. Self-actualization, self-pursuit, self-interest. The social media age basically tailors to whatever you want, you can have. It's about you and your pursuit. So would the modern equivalent of that Nathan Hale quote be, "I only regret that I have one life to give for my TikTok account"?
Yeah.
And that sounds like trite or ridiculous, but I'm trying to make a profound point here, which I think we've really just turned this whole notion of faithfulness or loyalty towards yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
That's interesting you say that. One of my little side things I have the privilege of doing is I'm the team chaplain for the Seattle Mariners, and we're going through we just started a new little book study with guys that are interested, and in the beginning of the book, the first sentence was, "It's not about you." And in this book we're reading,
which is subversive to say the least in this day.
And we spent, that's as far as we got.
Yeah.
That's as far as we got.
Let's just ruminate on that for a little bit. You understand what this means, guys, in this environment?
Yeah.
Greg Tomlin and Tim Gatosin on the John Curley Show. We'll be right back after these, but first let's send it on over to the real-time traffic desk and Nate Connors.
Thanks, Greg. The majority of the region enjoying wide open commutes this afternoon. Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. All that's in your way now is just a short 3-mile backup through JBLM. Olympia to Tacoma at 40 minutes. Still a little crowded as you head through Nisqually and again between Lakewood and South Tacoma. In Tacoma, South 705, your ramp to North 5, we're still on scene of a rollover crash. It is on the right side and up on the hill there in the ditch. IRT is now on scene assisting, but they're on the right shoulder, so all said and done, this is not a blocking issue yet. Up in Everett, we're slowly improving. South 5 is packed from the Outlet Mall to the Steamboat Slough now, about 20 minutes between Marysville and Everett. Our ferries are struggling this afternoon. A number of routes are behind schedule, in fact, and the Clinton Ferry Terminal reporting a 2-hour wait for drivers. Kingston Ferry Terminal has a 3-hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Honoring the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice this Memorial Day. While celebrating with friends and loved ones, take a few moments to remember and reflect that we remain the home of the free because of the brave. Reverently celebrating Memorial Day with you. We are KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Greg Tomlin and Tim Gatosin on the John Curley Show on this Memorial Day 2026. Tim, were you able to score any World Cup tickets by chance?
Not as of yet.
Oh, you're telling me there's a chance?
I mean, shoot, who knows? I mean, go. The key is to go down, do a little scalping, like 10 minutes before kickoff, and who knows what could happen.
So that is a life hack that I stumbled upon during the Mariners playoff run last year. I don't want to spill the secrets on the air, but I'm going to anyway. Okay?
Yeah, spill it, baby.
So I bought playoff tickets with like early access and paid full price for them. And I was looking at some of the third-party websites where you could buy tickets right up until game time starts. If you want to go to the game but don't want to pay full price, it depends on demand, right? Supply and demand is a real economic phenomenon. But I was looking at the resellers right after first inning started. You could get like half-price tickets.
Yeah.
So why not just go camp outside the stadium, wait until the first inning is started, and buy tickets at half price? You're saying something similar will happen with World Cup tickets too? Like,
I've never been to the World Cup. I don't know if that would be a thing with the World Cup. I've been to.
There's always someone who can't make a game at the last second.
I mean, I've been to certainly high level events that are a lot of money, but I mean, I think it for the most part every time I've experienced, you wait until game time, and then that's when the problem with
desperation sets in for some people.
I mean, the problem with that is if you want to bring people and there's, let's say, 4 of you, you got your family, that's tricky. That's tricky. But if it's just you or 2 people, then I think it gets a little easier.
I played this game with Zach Bryan tickets at the Tacoma Dome like a year or 2 ago. I thought, okay, I don't know if it's going to sell out or not, so I'm going to wait till tickets went up 3 times by the time the concert started, and my wife never forgave me for it. So you're rolling the dice a little bit too, because you don't know how the dynamics are going to play out till game time.
You could always do what my brother did a few times when he, in his younger years, he would, and this was more like, for, University of Washington or, where they had a pep band, but he'd bring his trumpet case into like a side door, and he'd be like, "Hey, I'm with the band," and
it's worth a shot.
And he would get it.
I'm with the band. That's genius. Okay, so this is related, but news story today: Seattle is ranked as #1 U.S. host city for World Cup fans. Does that surprise you, Tim, on its surface?
I mean, I guess who's doing the study and what were the indicators in the study and the data?
So here's the index considered travel time to stadiums, walkability, average food and beer prices, bar density, soccer culture, safety scores, and expected match day temperatures. I will say the city's probably going to show really good in June. People flying in from other parts of the world and seeing, the rolling hillsides, the mountaintops, everything's green. You've got the ocean, you got the lake, immediate good vibes when you're flying into the city.
Yeah. I mean, if it's us versus, Kansas City's hosting, I've been to Chiefs. I guess they're playing at Chiefs Stadium. Arrowhead. Yeah. I mean, my goodness, that's out in the middle of nowhere. There's, nothing to do there. I mean, here you're in the middle of the city.
It's a feast for the eyes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, great restaurants. Take the ferry boat. Oh.
You sure it's host city or hosed city?
Wow, that was really clever.
I thought you were sleeping over there, Nate.
Oh, never.
Gosh.
Never.
So you waited an hour and 54 minutes to drop that one liner. That's the one you
been
had
waiting a long time.
I don't know with the pun. We'll take it. We'll accept it.
Well, wait till what I have up my sleeve next hour.
Okay.
All right.
Greg Tom and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. Nate Dogg, what's going on with traffic?
You know what? All in all, we're looking pretty good out there. The KIRO Newsradio app has the update. In fact, Tacoma to Olympia and vice versa are both down about 40-minute commutes, which is great. We're still dealing with this collision in South Tacoma, in Tacoma rather, South 705 at your ramp to North 5. It's a rollover crash. It's on the right side, and it's in the ditch, so it isn't blocking right now. Up in Everett, South 5 is packed from about the Tulalip Resort Casino down to the Steamboat Slough. Not a huge backup, about 20 minutes between Marysville and Everett. South 5 in Seattle is wide open, and northbound I-5 is just a 15-minute trip through downtown right now, with a brief backup at the I-90 interchange, and then a very brief backup at the Ship Canal Bridge. We're 2 weeks away from Revive I-5 taking a pause there at the Ship Canal Bridge, so that'll open up the lanes on the bridge, and that'll give our express lanes back to the normal north-south switcheroo. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app, listen to your favorite shows, and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Clogged gutters? Not anymore. K-Guard by Guardian keeps leaves out, water flowing, and your home protected year-round. No maintenance, no rust, just lasting peace of mind. Guardian Roofing, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit guardianroofing.com.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
With summer right around the corner, Valentine Roofing's schedule is filling up fast. Jake Skorheim here. I want to give you 3 reasons why you should pick up the phone and call Valentine today. Number 1, there's still time to beat the summer rush and get your roof started in as little as 3 weeks. Number 2, when the nice weather hits, you'll be enjoying your backyard instead of worrying about your roof. And 3, with the increased cost of crude oil, material prices going up, shipping prices going up, lock in your price now before the market absorbs all those price increases. Call 206 Roofing today, and I guarantee there'll be no surprises, just a clear estimate you can trust. And once you choose Valentine Roofing, here's what you can expect. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. That's the Valentine experience and the reason that they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. Call 206 Roofing today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call, whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree. But because of declines in memberships, departments have become understaffed. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs you. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at a fundraiser? No matter what skills you have, you can make a difference. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you answer the call? For more information on how you can help, visit the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance at supportvfa.org.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. The Memorial Day weekend is wrapping up and many road trippers are hitting the highways to trek back home. ABC's Melissa Adon.
Traffic is picking up, and especially across Southern California, there's no surprise that the roadways along the beaches and the coast, that's where we are seeing the most slowdowns as traffic starts to pick up with the millions of people who chose to drive for this long weekend. And of course, many are beginning their commutes back home.
In New York City this Memorial Day, the Intrepid Museum opening its doors to vets and armed forces members for a commemoration. Mayor Zoran Mamdani was there.
As each of us enjoy the fruits of lives of peace and freedom, homes where we are safe at night, children who learn and grow in school, let us always remember that none of this was promised. It was won by sacrifice, and it must be cherished.
A woman died after being impaled by a patio umbrella during strong winds at a South Carolina restaurant Saturday on Lake Marion. This is ABC News. A different kind of global sports competition has wrapped in Las Vegas, the Enhanced Games, which encourages the use of performance-enhancing drugs.
The president of World Athletics saying no one within athletics takes the Enhanced Games seriously. But athletes claim the money offered by the Enhanced Games was too good to pass up. Winners of each event walked away with $250,000. And breaking a world record results in $1 million payday.
We have our first world record.
A Greek swimmer broke the record in the 50-meter freestyle.
ABC's Sophie Flay. Europe is in the grips of a May heat wave, which is making for difficult conditions at the French Open. The United Kingdom broke its record for the hottest temperature recorded in May. The Scripps National Spelling Bee gets underway tomorrow. This year, it returns to the nation's capital at Constitution Hall. 30 of the last 36 champions have come from families of Indian heritage. I am Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
Fed up families on Aurora Avenue ask the city to help keep them safe. More on that coming up. But first, here's Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Derek. Let's see. Tacoma to Olympia, 40 minutes, and really we're pretty much all clear of that. Back up through JBLM is down about a mile. Olympia to Tacoma is still about 40 minutes as well. A little crowding through Nisqually and a little more left through South Tacoma, but these backups are quickly clearing out as well. Let's see. South 705, though, that ramp to North 5, we're still dealing with a rollover crash. It's on the on-ramp. It's on the right side in the ditch, and we have IRT and a tow on seam, but they're all managing to stay on the right shoulder, so really there's no blocking issue, but you definitely want to slow down as you make your way through the ramp. You'll slow down anyway. It's quite a sight. South 5 in Everett heading into Everett is packed at the Outlet Mall down to the Steamboat Slough. 20 minutes between Marysville and Everett. South 5 into Seattle, you're wide open. It's just 15 minutes. North 5 through downtown. Scattered backups between the I-90 interchange and the Ship Canal. There's more clearing than backups here in these backups. Westbound 2, we're solid 18-mile backup between Index and Sultan as you head back home, and westbound 90 is heavy between Cle Elum and Easton. It's about 2 hours and 35 minutes between Ellensburg and North Bend. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Derek Wing. A message to the city of Seattle from people who live around Aurora Avenue North. Do something about the nonstop gunfire and violence endangering their families. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has the latest.
This sound is what neighbors say happens on a near weekly basis. Most recently, the weekend shootout near the Burgermaster at 98th with 40 shell casings recovered.
Shots were fired. I mean, umpteen, I can't even tell you how many.
Rudy Pantoja recalling that to KIRO 7. City residents have now installed several large steel planters to block off side streets. Mayor Katie Wilson says the city is increasing emphasis patrols and deploying its gun violence reduction unit. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
A man is in custody after deputies say he vandalized a Thurston County court building yesterday morning. The sheriff's office says it happened around 9:40 at the Family and Juvenile Court on 32nd Avenue Southwest in Olympia. Deputies showed up to a burglary alarm and found broken glass and a 40-year-old man still smashing things up inside. They also found an American flag had been pulled off its pole and stuffed in a mailbox. Deputies put the flag back up and took the man into custody without a fight. Tacoma police celebrating the impressive first weeks of K9 Charlie, who's already making a name for himself on the streets. In just a month and a half, Charlie has helped officers recover ditched weapons and even found a suspect hiding in an outdoor refrigerator.
Get out. Show me your hands. You're going to get bit. You understand me? Okay. Keep your hands up. Okay. Keep your hands up.
K9 Charlie has captures in 6 weeks, but off duty, Charlie is all puppy, spending his downtime chasing birds and squirrels in the backyard. Your forecast for this evening, clouds with a low of 50 degrees. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. Right now, it's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And we are back here. It's the John Curley Show. Tim Gatos, Greg Tomlin in for John today on this Memorial Day. We're so glad that you've been with us on this beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest, and as we said earlier, meaningful day to remember all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice today. You know, Greg, we talked a little bit earlier, and there's a new study. Well, it's not a new study, but it's getting a lot of new interest and going viral and getting some hits across the globe. And this is one of the more fascinating studies that I've ever seen done, and I think it really requires us to kind of think about this, because I think there's some implications for our society in a lot of ways. And as I was reading through this study that a team of researchers in New Zealand, they followed 1,037 babies from the day they were born for the next 45 years to find out what actually determines a successful adult life.
Yeah, and these babies were born between 1972 and 1973.
These findings, they were published in the most prestigious scientific journal in the world, but no parent has ever heard of the two people who put these on, Avshalom Caspi and Terry Moffat. They are a husband and wife research team based at Duke and King's College in London. And the study they spent their careers running is down in New Zealand. As you said, started in 1972. The study is still running today. The retention rate is the part that should astonish anyone familiar with how research usually works. After more than 45 years, over 90% of the original participants are still being tracked, which is crazy. They measured everything: blood, DNA, brain scans, income, criminal records, romantic relationships, drug use, dental health, sleep, so on and so on. And for the first decade of life, the team did something no one else was doing systematically. They measured each child's self-control. Not IQ, not family income, not parenting style, self-control. They watched 3-year-olds in a research lab and rated their ability to wait, regulate frustration, follow instructions, resist impulsive reactions. They added teacher ratings, parent ratings. And after all of this, they were astonished. They couldn't believe that this is one of the biggest studies ever done. And they showed that success in adult life is tied directly to self-control as an infant and as a child and as they grow up. Not where they grew up, what their race was, what their gender was. It was all tied to this. Pretty astonishing. People across the globe now are talking about this. This thing's going viral.
Yeah, and I do think it's more relevant than ever. And let's be clear, the researchers did not make a claim that IQ, family wealth, and background and environment have no impact on outcomes. But what they did find that was astonishing to them is that the concept or the trait of self-control had far more bearing on long-term outcomes for individuals. And I think one of the reasons that this study is new again and that it's being circulated widely today on social media and on the web and elsewhere is that, to me, I read the essence of this story, and my main takeaway is nothing is necessarily predetermined. And thinking about this concept of self-control, by definition, it's sort of a freeing concept, or it's a liberating concept.
Absolutely.
Because you have agency in the matter.
Right.
And I think sometimes we get bogged down in discussions about are outcomes predetermined based upon social conditions, race, family income, legacy, heritage, so on and so forth. And to see this study of 1,037 babies into adulthood and pinpoint, no, it's actually a behavior of self-control that matters the most is quite compelling.
Yeah. And using the word, liberated is really interesting, right? Because, we all come from, different places, different backgrounds, and to be able to have this kind of level, to think about a level playing field, you think about how you raise your children, how others get, raising their children. I think this is not something I honestly have ever even considered or thought of. When I heard about this study and started reading through it, I was like, this is something I don't know if I've ever even considered this, which is remarkable.
Well, it brings me back to something that I've been aware of for a long time, and I actually carried out this experiment with my children when they were in their earliest ages, where they were kind of becoming more cognizant for the first time, ages 4 to 6. Have you heard of the marshmallow test?
No.
So the marshmallow test is a famous psychological experiment on delayed gratification. I would say delayed gratification is sort of adjacent to the concept of self-control. And it was developed by this guy named Walter Mischel, I think if I'm pronouncing it correctly, at Stanford University. It's the late 1960s. And it basically measures an adolescent's ability to resist an immediate treat that you give them in order to receive a much larger treat later. So the controlled study is like this. You put a young child in a room, again, ages between 4 and 6, and you give them a single marshmallow. And I did this with my kids, except I used the mini Cadbury eggs at the time, right? and so the researcher or the parent tells the child, you're going to leave the room for 15 minutes, and if you can basically resist this marshmallow or this Cadbury egg in front of you, you're going to get more treats when I come back. And then you see what the child does, and then they examine the kid in the room all alone with the single marshmallow in the Stanford experiment. Dismayed to say that all 3 of my kids failed when I gave them this test. Literally the second I put the Cadbury egg in front of them, went right to their mouth. But then all that did was solidify for me the notion that I've got a lot of work to do as a parent, because almost innate is, I mean, it's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I want it now, Daddy. I want an Oompa Loompa now, Daddy. And so as parents, one of my main responsibilities was driving home this notion of self-control and delayed gratification. In many ways, it's almost the essence of life. I mean, work is delayed gratification. So many aspects of life are just control your immediate impulses and desires now for a much greater reward later on. And this study that you bring up today bears that out.
I'd be curious your thoughts, friends. I mean, what do you think about this? Is this overblown? Do you think this study is garbage? 888-973-5476, 888-973-5476. The most uncomfortable part of this research that the researchers did, they estimated that if a country could move the bottom 20% of children up one rung of the self-control ladder, it would measurably reduce healthcare spending, welfare dependency, and incarceration costs at the national level. Intervention, they say, is cheaper than almost any other public health investment available, and almost no country has tried it at scale. They go on to say that the reason adults struggle with money and addiction and relationships is rarely intelligence. It's the gap between what you want right now and what you want in 10 years.
Exactly right. Okay, so why is this so compelling to you, Tim, in terms of you're a dad of 4 kids, correct?
Correct.
And one, do some kids display this implicitly more than others? And 2, how do you drive this concept home for them? And again, not just as a parent, but for our fellow adults either. How could you characterize why this is such an important trait?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I think it's fascinating to me because I think there's a lot of sociological aspects involved that we have had conversations about for a lot of years that I think we're all I want to be really sensitive to, and I want to be I want to be understanding. And I want to hear, and I want to learn, and I want to know. I think you and I talked about earlier, like we want to, at the end of the day, we don't want to push a narrative. We want to know truth. We want to know what truth really is. And whatever that is, let's explore that. And I think this to me is fascinating because it is what kind of truth is involved here with,
right.
with outcomes for now. I hate to even put a label on this in the sense of like, well, gosh, if you're not self-controlled, you're pretty much doomed in life, right?
You kind of are, though. I know that's a blanket statement, but in many ways, I mean, if the positive of this is true, then the inverse would have to be true as well, right?
Right.
And I think one of the big things is what's striking to me is the notion that when you exude or deploy self-control, you are resisting impulses or the immediate action in the present. And isn't it fascinating that implicit to this argument is the thing that will come most naturally or we want to reach out in terms of our reflex is typically the worst thing
Yeah.
We don't have a natural impulse
Right.
to do the thing that's going to benefit us.
Yeah.
And that's why when you exude the self-control, it causes a person to go, pause, wait, I can't just act on my feelings as they come to bear in this very moment, because often the reflex or the impulse gets us in a negative space.
Right.
And the good decision comes when you stop, you ask questions, you play out scenarios, you think, what will be the implications of this action, that action, and so on and so forth. And then the wisdom kind of presents itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's to use the term like, reverse engineer, and think about you reverse engineer your life and say, wouldn't it be fascinating to know those things? That is it all by chance, or what were the building blocks along the way, right? That we are able to get into certain positions. And I think that's, when we think about our city and we think about how we serve people, help people, how we give people the opportunity to succeed. I mean, a big question right now in society is this whole idea of meritocracy versus equality or equity, right? And that we, not everyone can really achieve equity unless something is given to them. And is that really true? Is that the case?
You summarize that very well, and there are direct policy implications to a study like this, because you hear politicians talk a lot about, we need to set up every type of kid in this environment to be ready to succeed, and every kid deserves this, this, and this. And if we just make the preconditions necessary for them to thrive, if we give them the right social environment, school environment with the right amount of government funding, we will see success increase and we'll see more flourishing in our society. And a study like this pushes back and says, actually, the outcomes have far more to do with individual agency and self-control, which everybody, regardless of income status or environment or family situation, has control over. But that gets us into an uncomfortable space to where you start relating outcomes to choice, when various sides of the political spectrum want to say, no. Outcomes are based upon social conditions that are predetermined, and we need to focus more on improving those rather than people's behaviors and traits that are part of their personality.
Right. Because probably most of us know, and I know someone who, was born with a kind of quote unquote silver spoon in their mouth, who's now in jail. And,
exactly right.
Right. And someone who was born in like the most destitute of, environments, and is now just a very responsible citizen who has an amazing family and does very well in their career. I mean, we could probably, go on and on, all the examples that we know of that kind of go all these different ways. And I think we all want to know, again, goes back to this concept of truth and what really is truth when we come to these types of conversations.
Well, and what those two case studies that you point out have in common is choices, individual choices, whether the positive outcome was realized or the negative outcome. So I'm thinking a lot in terms of baseball lately, because I have a 6th grade son at home, and we're about getting ready to start with the playoffs, and I'm one of the assistant coaches on the team. And there are so many great life lessons when your kids play sports, not just for the youth of today, but also parents and also me as a coach, just watching the dynamics in baseball play out. And I will tell you, the natural human inclination of all these 12-year-old boys on the team when things go wrong is to, guess what? Who to blame? The umpire. Mm-hmm. This was off on the field, or this guy didn't do his job. So that impulse of like, it's everybody's fault but mine is so innate to all these ball players on the team. The message that I drive home with them that I think is a very empowering message is, guys, we have no control over the umpire. We could have a great umpire tonight. We could have a bad umpire. If you waste one iota of time thinking about how good or bad the umpire is, that is time wasted.
Yeah.
Here's what you can control. And here is the liberating part of this, is you can control your preparation, you can control your effort, you can control whether or not you make that play to first base or you swing the bat on an 0-2 count. Focus on these things because, and self-control plays into this as well, but it's, your choices matter most in this, not the choices of other people in the context of this baseball game. And I think there's a direct correlation to this study, and that message needs to be driven home time and time again with people.
That's exactly like this meme I just saw a couple days ago talking about comparing and contrasting like the 1980s to today when it comes to school and parenthood and things like that. And the image from the 80s was parents, essentially, they were in a classroom and they were scolding their child with the teacher there, right? Basically saying, "Hey, get your act together." And then the picture of today was them in the same classroom with the teacher and their kid, and they were yelling at the teacher.
Yes, those videos go viral all the time. To
show the kind of the comparing and contrasting to your point of like 40 years ago, we would have gotten on our child for something that happened in the classroom and come on, what's your problem? What are you doing? And today we would say, man, what is wrong with this school? What is wrong with this teacher? Right?
Is it weird? You're in your 40s as well, right? You're not 50 yet.
Why
I didn't mean to call you out on the spot or anything, but every once in a while,
52.
We approach phrases that are very close to back in my day. And you just said one there. But there's nothing new under the sun. It must be when we all reach this time in our lives, we kind of look back and are like, hold on, why did that thing change?
Yeah.
And it has not changed for the better. And we are reminiscing about getting it back to the way that it was.
Yeah.
And round it goes.
Tim Gatos, Greg Tomlin in on the John Curley Show. Let's toss it over to the Nate Dog at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Tim. Tacoma to Olympia, we have cleared out. It is a wide-open half-hour drive. Olympia to Tacoma, we're getting there. 35 minutes. Minor slowing through Nisqually, and same story in South Tacoma near the Tacoma Mall. In Tacoma, South 705 at your ramp to North 5. We're getting close to clearing this rollover crash. It's in the right lane, and it's actually off in the ditch. Tows on scene, and they're pulling it out of the ditch as we speak. In Everett, South 5, we're still packed from the Outlet Mall in Marysville down to Union Slough. 15 minutes between Marysville and Everett. Not bad. Seattle looking pretty good. South 5, as a matter of fact, is all clear. North 5 is now bumper to bumper between the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90. Another thick backup at 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. Less than 15 minutes to get through this. On the water, the Clinton Ferry Terminal still reporting 2-hour wait for drivers and still a 3-hour wait for drivers at the Kingston Ferry Terminal. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. Then how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months. 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cle Elum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it.
but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising cost and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Derek Wing. A 16-year-old boy is dead after a roadside shooting overnight in Parkland, and whoever did it is still on the run. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has more from Sheriff's Office investigators.
The 16-year-old was found lying in the road on Sheridan Avenue South Sunday evening. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says the victim was walking with his girlfriend when a vehicle pulled up and called him over.
Suspects in the vehicle robbed the victim of some jewelry, shot him, and then fled the scene.
Detectives would like to hear from you if you have any leads or potentially surveillance video that could help them zero in on the suspects. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
A suspended Longview superintendent faced a judge Friday, one day after her arrest, tied to the Mark Morris High School sexual misconduct case. According to the Seattle Times, prosecutors say Karen Cloninger discouraged staff from reporting allegations, told them not to put anything in writing, and withheld key information from investigators. Her bail was set at $5,000, and a no-contact order now prevents her from interacting with students or witnesses. The district has hired an outside investigator, and several employees connected to the case are now on leave. A powerful tribute in the skies this weekend as family and friends honored Alex Keene, a hiker who died on Mount Pew, with a memorial skydive on Sunday. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
Keene went missing a few weeks ago while on a hike on Mount Pew. A few days after he was reported missing, Snohomish rescue crews found Alex's body several hundred feet down the mountainside. His co-worker, Joe Shipasel Cornejo, was a part of that search.
It was awful. It was really sad, but we were just also really happy to be able to get him back and bring him home.
Besides creating a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs, Alex's family is encouraging the public to donate to Snohomish search and rescue crews for bringing him back home.
Now let's check in with traffic with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Derek. Let's see. This report brought to us by Seattle Sports. Westbound 90 at Rainier Avenue here in Seattle. We have a new crash. It's blocking your left lane. The backup isn't too bad. It's coming out of the Mount Baker Tunnel because volumes around the city are very light this afternoon. In fact, South 5 is all clear. North 5, it is bumper to bumper between the West Seattle Bridge and I-90. And then another brief backup between 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. Less than 15 minutes, though, to get through downtown. Down in Tacoma, South 705, that ramp to North 5. We're still in the process of clearing this rollover crash. It's on the right side of that on-ramp, and looks like they're going to probably be clearing this here in the next few minutes. The drive between Tacoma and Olympia is cleared out in both directions of I-5. North 5, there's a little brief slowing still through Nisqually, but nothing heavy. Up in Everett, South 5, still stop and go at the Outlet Mall down to the Union Slough, about 15 minutes between Marysville and Everett. Through Sultan, westbound 2, we're up to a 20-mile backup now between Bering and downtown Sultan. And east of the mountains, starting to thin down. Westbound 90 still heavy between Cle Elum and Easton, but then things clear out pretty quickly. Ellensburg to North Bend, right around 2 hours and 10 minutes, about an hour delay. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Your weather this evening, periods of rain, a low of 50. Tomorrow, some showers with a high of 63. Right now in downtown Seattle, it's 55 degrees. I'm Derek Wing, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Greg Tomlin and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. This hour brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. Andrew, how are you enjoying your eggs these days?
How am I enjoying my eggs?
Yes.
I always like them poached. Lots of vinegar in the water with some salt. Bring it to a boil. Crack the eggs in. Cover it once the foam shows up. 3-minute timer. Done.
I feel like I'm on Master Chef right now. This is insane.
Wow.
Well played. There's your pro tip of the day.
Well, we've got some exciting news. We've got our second autonomous zone that's ever been set up in Seattle. We've got an autonomous. I don't know if you have heard about the new autonomous zone up in North Seattle off Aurora. These neighbors, they must have been inspired because just a few weeks ago, Les Miserables was at the Paramount Theater. And, of course, if you know that story of the barricades.
Jean Valjean, am I in the right area? Yeah.
Yep. But you know the revolutionaries there in France set up the barricades, and we've got a new set of revolutionaries in North Seattle setting up barricades, and this is a pretty serious situation following an incredible over 95 shootings have happened.
Is that for real?
Over the last
95?
year.
95?
Yeah, that's real.
Holy cow.
95 shootings over this past year in a kind of a short radius up in Aurora Avenue North. Homeowners, residents, they're done. They're over it. They have set up a barricade to not allow the what is being called a pimp war. These pimps who oversee the whole sex trafficking ring that's happening on Aurora Avenue North. And SPD is reported to be immediately implementing an increase in emphasis patrols. But, hey, I've heard that time and time again over the last many, many years. And things get worse and worse. If you have seen some of the video of these shootings, I mean, this is unbelievable that this is happening in what Bob Ferguson calls a world-class city because there is absolutely no way that this should be allowed. We know where it's happening. It's happening dozens and dozens of times in the same area. And these bullets are going through these houses, these apartments, Families are there. They're sleeping. It is unbelievable what's happening on Aurora Avenue North right now.
Yeah, the images out of these neighborhoods are quite striking with these barricades that are blocking streets. But this is a trade-off that residents in the area are willing to make because they're just fed up with the violence and they fear for their safety. And I'm struck by the notion, Tim, that the number one responsibility of city leaders, state leaders, government officials, and so on and so forth is the safety of the citizenry. Well, clearly the neighbors in this area don't feel safe and they're taking matters into their own hands. And they're saying, we feel like we're at such a risk that we're willing to block traffic, including to such a degree that might slow down firefighters and medics and so forth. The greater threat is coming from these pimp wars that are happening right under our noses. So you can't help but be sympathetic to these residents who are absolutely fed up and don't feel like the situation's getting any better. They're looking to their city officials and law enforcement to make it better, and it's only just
shootings
descended
every night.
It's
and
horrible.
The neighbors, they met with Katie Wilson, Seattle Mayor's public safety executive ops manager, Allison Holcomb. The neighbor said Holcomb extended an offer to organize a meeting with community members. Oh, I love when they say we're going to organize a meeting.
And then we can get another meeting and another
let's
meeting.
organize it. Let's get a cohort together. He says he appreciated her coming out, but he said, quote, she provided absolutely zero tangible solutions or actions that the mayor's office is willing to take to protect us. That's just honestly unconscionable. I just can't. I can't believe that this kind of thing is happening, and then that is the response. My guess is they probably believe that the pimps are having mental health crisis, and so they want to give them a little bit of some room to get better. I mean,
Tim, I mean, this has been like, I don't know, a stereotype of this area for, I feel like, decades and decades. And we all know what's happening. Why can't it be cleaned up? Why can't it be fixed? Why can't we have, round the clock, surveillance of some of these streets and a constant law enforcement presence in this area to just stop the madness? It's for, again, a city that is often portrayed by leaders here as being an A-plus city. This is not A-plus behavior.
Yeah. One of the neighbors who has a 4-month-old and a bullet flew into the bedroom of his 4-month-old. And obviously he's very frustrated and said the mayor and mayor's office are actually telling us they're going to dismantle the barriers and let the pimps flow into our neighborhoods to shoot each other.
Okay, but again, as is often the case, it's the law-abiding citizens that are hurt the most here, and that the action, the swift action comes when law-abiding residents in the area are taking matters into their own hands, but not for the ones committing the most grave offenses, which just makes you want to bang your head against the wall.
Well, this is ideology and ideas when they play itself out in real time.
Explain that a little bit. Expand. What do you mean by that ideology playing itself out?
Well, I think, a lot of the things that we're seeing today, democratic socialism, which has a lot of roots in Marxism. And there's a lot of things that are taught at, universities nationally. We know Katie Wilson's, father, and a lot of the things that, he taught and still teaches around Marxism and the things that, what that looks like with a policy and how that plays itself out on the streets in terms of, I wish we had a lot of time to dive into this around equity and observations that come to conclusions with society. I think we're seeing that play out in real time.
I don't know if you're like me, and I'm going to throw this out there, but have you heard the term sex worker more in the last 5 years than you've ever heard previously when it comes to describe the act of prostitution? I've always thought that was a way to soften or sanitize the practice of prostitution. And that's what we're talking about here on Aurora Avenue and these pimp wars that are breaking out, right? And I think we need to call it for what it is. Prostitution is an evil act that often involves exploitation, objectification, often involves minors, often involves human trafficking, It's an evil practice. And I think when you said this comes down to ideology, I think there was this notion that we're going to sort of sanitize the act of prostitution, start saying it's sex workers, and then we kind of warm up. Well, it's just another form of chosen labor. And so, no. Wrong. It involves human depravity and evil at a very escalated scale here. And if we talk about it plainly, and in terms of right and wrong, then I think you can start to address root causes much more effectively.
Well, it's kind of why I sort of joked about, that the pimps are having a mental health crisis, right? Which is why they're lenient on them. But I said obviously tongue in cheek, because to your point, we desensitize things, right? I mean, it's like
everybody's a victim. The bad guys are the victims. The victims are the victims. We're all just. Yeah.
I mean, that's the new term for someone in our city. If they hurt someone else, they're just having a mental health crisis, right? Someone who pulls a gun on someone, they're having a mental health crisis. This stood out to me, a couple months ago at the Northgate Light Rail Station, where we saw the video of a guy pushing a man onto the oncoming train, and the headline for that was the guy the attempted murderer, right? Who pushed an innocent man into the train. What'd they say? Well, he was having a mental health crisis. And that's a way of sanitizing some of the most horrific crime that we see. And if we're sanitizing crime, what else are we doing?
Well, we don't know his story. He might be hungry.
Well, sanitizing crime is just not I don't understand why we want to sanitize like really horrific acts like that. Do you know?
Greg Tallman, something to ponder. Greg Tallman, Tim Gatos, we got to go to a break here. Nate Dogg at the real-time traffic desk. What's going on?
Well, let's see. Westbound 90 Rainier Avenue. Still got a crash blocking the left lane. Just a minimal backup here. They're close to clearing it out of your way. North 5 is heavy between the West Seattle Bridge and I-90. And then another brief backup there approaching the Ship Canal Bridge. Less than 15 minutes to get you through downtown. All right, let's head down to Tacoma. South 705 there. Ramp to North 5. They're still working on that rollover crash. It's on the far right side. It's not blocking. It's on the right shoulder. The drive between Tacoma and Olympia has cleared out in both directions. Up in Everett, we're still slowly clearing out South 5 between the Outlet Mall and the Union Slough. 15 minutes between Marysville and Everett. Westbound 2 heading into Sultan has a 20-mile backup that starts near Bering. East of the mountains, westbound 90, we have a 9-mile backup through Clay Elm. Then you're going to clear out pretty quickly. Little slowing near Ketchless Lake. Ellensburg to North Bend, 2 hours and 10 minutes, a 55-minute delay. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. And Bob, just like me, you had a hip problem. You were recommended surgery. Why did you go see Dr. Wagner first?
I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff.
So you had stem cell on your hip. How does it feel now?
I can do a lot of things I could not do prior to this procedure, and I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now. And I've had friends that have gone to see Dr. Wagner. They had the same experience, whether they were dealing with a hip, a knee, an elbow, a shoulder. Everybody walking out of there feels like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Before you choose surgery, do what Bob and I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KIRO Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments. 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. The V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. Donate today at V.org.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Greg Tallman and Tim Gatos in on the John Curley Show. We hope you're having a meaningful Memorial Day. We wanted to get to this at some point, and we'll do it before we read texts here, but I wanted to make a recommendation in terms of something that is appropriate to watch with a teenager this Memorial Day. I just started watching Band of Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
With my 12-year-old. Some might say that's a little early, and I feel like he's sort of right on the line there, and we've been enjoying it thoroughly, but thank you, Andrew. One of the greatest soundtracks of all time as well. And I can never fast forward past the beginning credits because I feel like I want to cry the second the music starts. And my goodness, it really transports you to 1940s Europe anything from the Battle in Bastogne to the landing of D-Day, the 101st Airborne, the night before the amphibious landing. And man, I've watched that series 2 or 3 times now, and to get it to share with one of my kids has been a really meaningful thing. And we talk about every episode and the fact that they interview the veterans before each episode starts. What about you, Mike? Any recommendations for something to consume on this Memorial Day?
I mean, you got to go Saving Private Ryan. It is one of the most heart-wrenching films I have ever seen.
Saw it 4 times in the theater when it came out, believe it or not. What about you, Tim?
Same.
Saving Private Ryan?
Yep.
One of Spielberg's and Hank's best collaborations. And yeah, most realistic depicting of the D-Day landing ever shot on film. All right, let's get to some of your texts. A lot of you chimed in today, and we're going to read some of the best texts that came in. We're not even going to do the mailbag intro. We don't need to. Let's start with Erica on the subject of music and politics, and can music bridge the divides? We talked with Chris Novoselic from Nirvana, who was instrumental in the founding of the Cascade Party here in Washington State. And Erica writes, let's hear it for Uncle Ted Nugent. Man, oh man, he is preaching to the choir.
Brad the painter on the Seattle waterfront says, I drive the waterfront all the time. It's improved quite a bit over the last few years, but sadly Ballard has gone the opposite way. We need to triple down on what actually is proven to work.
And Charlie on the beach in Seattle says, I'm 100% in stride with Tim. If you were living here when times were great, they were unbelievably great. I always have the hope that they'll return to that at some point in time, and I'm confident that they will. Well, kind of confident.
On AI usage, Brad the painter, AI could go back and fix crappy CGI in old movies. We could have an awesome Scorpion King and Mummy 2.
I'm hardcore anti going back and cleaning up bad special effects in films. I still have a sour note about what they did to the original Star Wars trilogy. I've not let my kids watch the updated versions that George Lucas has a horrible looking Jabba in the original A New Hope, and I have the Harmy editions where somebody online, some fan, updated them to 4K, but unaltered in their gloriousness that they were back in 1977 and so on. Don't fix what is already beautiful. On the subject of the Michael Jackson movie and whether or not I should take my kids to go see it, they've been begging me for some weeks now. Goodfellas writes, see it and let your kids see it. It gently shows why Michael didn't have friends other than his rat and Bubbles, the rescued chimpanzee. It's all about the music with an all-star cast. The boys playing MJ and his evil dad are all Oscar-worthy. Great talent. It feels like you're there at the concert. See Michael on a big screen with good sound. Okay, duly noted.
All right.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Barbara, who gave a shout out to my dad. Appreciate that, Barbara. A longtime chaplain and radio man here. Barbara says, so many topics of interest, gentlemen. I've enjoyed your opinions. Tim, heartwarming to learn of your ministry with our Mariners. Always looked up and respected your father as chaplain. Thanks, Barbara. It means a lot. Appreciate that.
And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more. She left the glue.
I feel like it's the same melody of a deluxe apartment in the sky. Move it on up. That's all she wrote. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
You are correct, sir.
Thank you, Nate Dogg. Give us some good news about the roadways over at the real-time traffic desk.
All right. The good news is we have very few backups out there. Of course, our biggest concerns are really heading back into Western Washington from the eastern side of the state. I'll get to that in a sec. Westbound 98 Rainier Avenue, we still have a crash blocking the left lane. Barely a backup here because volumes are so light. North 5 in the downtown slows approaching the I-90 interchange. A brief backup across the Ship Canal. Everett South 5 slows briefly from 528 in Marysville past the Union Slough, Marysville to Everett closing in on 10 minutes. So we have about an 18-mile backup between Index and Sultan on westbound 2, and westbound 90 is thick through Cle Elum, about a 10-mile backup. By the time you hit Easton, though, things clear out. Ellensburg to North Bend is about 2 hours and 10 minutes right now. On the water, we got a 2-hour wait for drivers in Clinton, 3-hour wait for drivers at the Kingston Ferry, and now a 2-hour wait for drivers at the Seattle Terminal headed to Bainbridge Island. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Honoring the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice. This Memorial Day, while celebrating with friends and loved ones, take a few moments to remember and reflect that we remain the home of the free because of the brave. Reverently celebrating Memorial Day with you, we are KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows